Hello and welcome back to Where Feng Shui Meets Fashion. The theme of today's pod is Feng Shui on steroids. It's all about my ongoing Feng Shui Mastermind. I embarked on a 3-month Feng Shui Mastermind on March 29th during the new moon solar eclipse, and it has been a game changer. The Mastermind is a deep dive into Black sect Tantric Buddhist Feng Shui transmissions, traditions, teachings, and practices. That's right, it's super woo. My original training and certification was in Form School Feng Shui some 15 years ago. The difference between my original training and Black Hat Feng Shui, also known as B2B Feng Shui, is that Black Hat is a Buddhist interpretation of Feng Shui introduced to the US by a Buddhist monk named Grand Master Lin Yun. It's steeped in mysticism and transcendental cures. And that's not to say that Form School doesn't have transcendental cures, because it absolutely does. However, the menu of these is just not as broad. And you can easily practice Form School without seeming too woo. But I'm at a place in my life where I am prepared to lean into the unseen forces that I have come to recognize as more real than the seen. I'm sure my mother's recent passing in February also inspired a desire for deeper connection with otherworldly aspects of life. And since my original Feng Shui training, I have continually added to my toolbox by, reading extensively on the subject, studying space clearing with Denise Lin, who's the mother of space clearing, and testing for and attaining my red ribbon professional credential through the International Feng Shui Guild. Last year, I even got licensed in fashion Feng Shui. So, in this field of Feng Shui, your education is continual and mentorship with masters is ideal because the breadth and depth of knowledge is seemingly endless. As mentioned, I felt I was ready to dive deeper into the more spiritual and mystical aspects of Feng Shui. And the more I connect with my own divinity, the more I realize I need to incorporate spirituality into my work. So, in recent years, I have explored plant medicine and shamanic journeys, which sort of recalibrated my worldview and opened me up to embracing spirituality in a more transparent way. I used to feel like I had to gloss over the spiritual aspects of life and my work because when I started out in this field, I often came across skeptical and misinformed people. Listen, I still do. I just don't care anymore. That's not my customer or my audience. Those aren't my people. I get it. However, there's a whole big, beautiful world out there full of people for whom it is for. And I want to talk to them fearlessly and without hesitation. I'm coming out of the spiritual closet, so to speak. Feng Shui is an energetic practice. And if the exchange is not reciprocal, there is no exchange to be had. I want to work with clients who appreciate and embrace that. So here I am. The wisdom of Feng Shui is sacred, and it should be treated as such. So I definitely feel blessed that I have the luxury of working for myself rather than a corporate entity or employer. I no longer have to answer to anyone or pretend to just be helping you decorate. Feng Shui is a manifesting practice. Your home is a living, breathing 3D vision board. I'm your curator. I can curate your ideal personal narrative. As a practitioner of a sacred energetic practice, I risk an energy leak if I share the wisdom without proper reciprocity. It took me years to fully understand this. It's probably the most important thing I have learned from the mastermind I'm in. All those years that I wanted to be generous and helpful, I was selling myself short. And paying the price. I was often left physically and emotionally depleted. Now it all makes sense. In treating this practice as sacred, I can have clear boundaries that protect me and provide much greater impact and efficacy for my clients. In the past, I have suffered from what I now affectionately refer to as Feng Shui Tourette's. Just like it's inappropriate for a psychic to walk up to a perfect stranger and tell them that they have a message from the other side, it's not my place to tell someone about their feng shui who has not expressly asked or hired me. End of story. So, one of my favorite things that we practice during the Mastermind is what's called the red envelope tradition. It's an ancient tradition in which payment for feng shui services, particularly cures and adjustments, is given by the client and received by the practitioner in these pretty red envelopes. The number of envelopes exchanged is in multiples of 9, so 9, 18, 27, 38, etc. The more in-depth and sacred the knowledge you share is, the more red envelopes filled with money are exchanged for that wisdom. So the Mastermind was pretty advanced, and we each paid with 36 individual envelopes filled with money. These ornate red Chinese envelopes also create a level of ceremony around the exchange. Participating in this mastermind was an investment in myself that was a long time coming, and the right opportunity presented itself in divine timing, so I went for it, and I am so happy I did. The first day of the mastermind coincided with a new moon eclipse, which happened to be in my 12th house of seclusion and self-inquiry. I was extremely sick with a persistent flu that had lingered since my mom's death in February. So I entered the mastermind a hot, vulnerable mess. Seriously. And we were a group of 6 women from various backgrounds and parts of the country. Our teacher and mentor was Christina Hollinger, a colleague in my field that I have been friendly with and following on social for over a decade. I have watched her evolve her business in aspirational ways. In following her trajectory, I learned that she herself had invested in multiple masterminds and coaching, and her content and reach reflected this. So I wanted to participate in a mastermind and coaching experience that was specific to my very niche field, Feng Shui. I made the leap with Christina because I knew she walked her talk and was speaking my language. So, with Christina at the helm, we were a group of 7 women, and the lessons, meditations, mantras, videos, practices of the mastermind were housed in a portal called Kajabi. Our interactions as a group were held over Zoom and a very active Telegram thread. So I wasn't sure exactly what to expect from the mastermind. What I got was a deep dive into the spiritual side of Feng Shui. It was full-on Feng Shui on steroids with a combination of information I already knew, along with sacred mantras, meditations, and rituals that were new to me and so exciting. The schedule was aggressive and comprehensive, and there wasn't an inch of my home left unactivated. What I realized in the process was that when I combined what I already knew with all the woo, it actually magnified the effects. Every cure and adjustment is treated as a sacred act. I loved it. It was a perfect spiritual retreat and staycation for me as I recovered from illness and navigated grief. Daily mantras, meditations, and chanting, lots of cleaning and space clearing, redecorating, turning every inch of my home into a narrative with intention was just what the doctor ordered. I took the opportunity to redecorate my entire home from a Feng Shui perspective during the Mastermind. I manifested $6,500, which I then turned around and invested that sum entirely into reimagining and transforming my space into my ideal personal narrative. It's a whole new magical set and setting. The biggest upgrades included my bed and bedroom furniture, a sofa, a rug, a coffee table, a sideboard, art, a desk chair, an office rug, etc., etc. The bed alone was a huge shift. It is the most important and impactful piece of furniture that you own. It represents and holds the energy of your health and love life. Two areas of life where a reset was needed in my life. My new vibrant velvet Art Deco inspired sofa and floral art are the set and setting for my podcast now. This area of my home happens to reside in my love and fame guas. So the new art contains the mantra, love is all. It is the message that you are greeted with when you enter my space. I wake up every day now thinking, oh my God, this is paradise. All these changes also culminated with my father gifting me with a beautiful brand new car. From a Feng Shui perspective, your car is an extension of your energy body. It represents a clear new path and vessel. When I meditated on my brand new pearly white hybrid Honda Civic, she asked me to call her Crystal. She was crystal clear. I can't wait to incorporate everything I have learned into my practice. In the words of developmental biologist Bruce Lipton, you change the container, you change the contents. Cheers, everyone, and ciao for now.